So first we'll see how objects are identified during recording. QuickTest first looks at the object and tries to find the object class of that. Tries to fit that object into a particular object class. The object class can be anything: web button, or a dialog box, or window, browser, or page, etc., whichever is applicable. Once that is done, QuickTest tries to recognize the object uniquely with the help of the below properties. So the first is mandatory property. Uh, Mandatory properties: for each test object class, QuickTest has a list of mandatory properties. These are predefined in QTP. QuickTest first tries to identify the object with the help of mandatory properties. QuickTest is not able to identify the object uniquely, then it tries to identify the objects uniquely with the help of assistive properties. Now there's a set of mandatory properties which are defined for each object class. It's predefined in QTP. You can change as per your requirement, change those properties, but there are certain predefined mandatory properties. Now next is assistive properties. QuickTest adds assistive properties one by one to the description until it has compiled a unique description of the object. QuickTest is not able to identify the object uniquely even after using both mandatory and assistive properties. It goes for ordinal identifier. Now what is ordinal identifier? If the combination of all defined mandatory and assistive properties is not sufficient to create a unique test object description, QuickTest can learn a backup ordinal identifier for each test object. The ordinal identifier assigns the object a numerical value that indicates its order relative to other objects with an otherwise identical description. Now I'll give you an example. Suppose there's an application which are having three OK buttons. Everything, the properties are all same. The mandatory and assistive properties are same. Inner text, which is OK, could be one of the mandatory property, and it is same in all the cases. So there are three identical OK buttons. Now in this case, recognizing a unique object using mandatory and assistive properties fails. So what does QTP do? There's a third identifier called as ordinal identifier. Now what QTP will do is, suppose now these three objects will be placed on the application. So first thing, it can look at the index.